The story begins long before light was born. In the beginning there was nothing, only a swirling darkness that consumed everything. But from that chaos, a radiant light descended, the light of the goddess. With her divine power, the void began to take shape. Mountains rose, oceans were formed, and the winds of life spread across the world. And from that single moment of creation, 9 great races were born. The dragon-newts, beings with scales strong as steel, and the breath of dragons, the elves, wise and eternal, guardians of the forests, the dwarves, unmatched in craft and metalwork, the beast folk, powerful and wild, guided by instinct, the Anicapped, small, nimble and cunning, the centaurs, proud warriors of the plains, the demon kin beings of magic and chaos, the dark elves, children of shadow and mystery, and finally, humans, weak in body, yet strong in spirit. From this divine creation, an age of heroes began, and among those heroes there was one boy who carried a dream larger than himself. His name was Light, a human, gentle, optimistic, and full of hope. One early morning, beneath the glowing sky of his small village, Light waves goodbye to his parents and childhood friend, Yumi. His mother smiles through tears, whispering, "Be safe, my son." And Yumi, an elf girl with kind eyes, forces a grin. "You better come back stronger, Light." He laughs softly and answers, "I'll be back as the greatest adventurer ever. I'll make sure you all live comfortably." And with that, he sets off his bag on his back, heart full of dreams. He doesn't know it yet, but his journey will soon take a turn darker than he could ever imagine. When Light reaches the city, he's overwhelmed. People of all races move through crowded streets, elves trading goods, dwarves hammering in forges, beastfolks shouting orders. For a boy from a small village, it's almost too much. He turns in circles, trying to find his way to one place, the Adventurers Guild. But before he can even take in the view, a group of beastfolk bump into him. They glare down, sneering. "Watch where you're going, human. Stay out of our way." Light bows his head quickly. "I am sorry. It was my fault." They scoff and walk away laughing. He sighs, clutching his bag tighter, whispering to himself, "I'll prove that humans can stand proud too." Finally, he finds the guild, a massive building buzzing with life adventurers bragging about monster hunts, clerks sorting rewards, blades clashing during practice. He steps up to the counter, where a young receptionist greets him kindly. "Welcome here to register." Light nods eagerly. "Yes, my name is Light. I'd like to become an adventurer." The receptionist smiles, pulling out a crystal tablet. "All right, Mr. Light. Let's begin with your rank and your gift." Light stands a little taller. "My gift is unlimited." Gacha, she blinks. "Unlimited? What?" Instead of explaining, he raises his hand. "I'll show you." A faint light appears above his palm, forming a floating crystal sphere. He touches it, and with a shimmer, a small item drops into his hand. A bent fork. The receptionist tilts her head. "Is that your gift?" Light laughs nervously. "Ah, it's just an example. Let me try again." He presses the sphere again, and out pops a rotten apple. He tries once more, and gets moldy bread. Light bows politely, and takes the papers. He spends the rest of the day working under the sun, carrying heavy loads, chopping, sweating, smiling through it all. By nightfall, he's exhausted, and when he counts his coins, it's barely enough for a night's lodging. As he walks through the quiet streets, clutching his small pouch of coins, the same beastfolk from earlier notice him. "Hey, isn't that the human from before?" "Yeah. Let's teach him a lesson for getting in our way." They shove him hard, he stumbles and falls into a puddle. "Watch it," one growls. "You got my clothes dirty, human." Light panics. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." But before he can finish, the beast snatches his bag of coins. Light trembles, staring down at his muddy reflection. His dream already feels so far away. Then a gentle voice. "Are you all right?" A hand reaches out to him, soft, warm, glowing faintly under the moonlight. He looks up. An elf woman stands before him, her silver hair shimmering. Light stammers, I'm fine. I'm sorry for dirtying your hand." But before he can pull away, she kneels in the mud and hugs him tightly. "Don't be afraid," she whispers. "You've done nothing wrong." He freezes. No one had ever treated him this kindly before. He wants to cry, but all he can do is whisper. "Why are you doing this?" She smiles. "Because everyone deserves a hand, even in the dirt." Her name is Sasha. Later that night, she brings him to meet her group, the Concord of Tribes. A diverse team representing all 9 races, gathered with one goal, to end discrimination and build a fair world. Light's eyes widen, warmth spreads through his chest. For the first time, he feels like he belongs. He smiles brightly. "Thank you. I'll do my best to help everyone. And just like that, Light becomes a member of the Concord of Tribes, a human among legends. A boy with a useless gift, now surrounded by hope. The next day, they enter a dungeon deep and ancient, known as the Abyss. Monsters lurk in every shadow, and danger waits around every corner. Drago slices through a giant serpent with his blade of fire. Sasha fires her bow, saving Light from a monster's ambush. Light, she shouts, don't go so far ahead. This is the toughest dungeon in the world. You could die instantly if something hits you. He lowers his head. I'm sorry, Sasha. She sighs and kneels, gently holding his face. Are you hurt? He shakes his head. The others start teasing her. Or Sasha's worried again. Such a caring elf. Sasha blushes, flustered. It's not like that. I just don't want our image ruined by losing a member. Everyone laughs, the air lightens again. For a while, it feels like a family. But that peace is about to shatter. The group stops in a silent chamber. Light. Should I make tea for everyone? Drago, cold tone. No need. You're not part of the party anymore. Light, confused. Huh, Guru. You're being banished. Light. What? Why? Sasha expression changes, disgusted. You're pathetic. I can't stand looking at you anymore. Scion, your stupidity offends me. Light shaking. But, I thought we were friends, Drago. We only kept you to watch your unlimited Gacha. Our leaders think you might be a maestro. Light. That's not true. The warmth he once felt turned to ice in an instant. Gacha is a worthless gift that does nothing. Guru confirms this, saying that his gift is trash, and he's got ordinary human stats. So, the bigwigs have decided he can't be the maestro, which means he's just dead weight. Scion says that it would have been nice if the top brass had made that call a little quicker, since it was obvious from the get-go. Sasha mentions that it's a huge relief for her, because even if it scores them the blood of a maestro, just thinking about having to marry an inferior gives her the creeps. Guru tells her it was a riot watching her fawn over him to keep that a possibility, but Light still doesn't know what they're talking about. Drago warns them they've let too much slip, but Guru tells him it's fine because Light isn't going to be speaking for much longer. Drago then asks him to finish him off before any other adventurers show up. And just then, reality dawned on Light. They explained that they were given specific orders to nip any potential problems in the bud, and to not let him live. Guru quickly uses his claws to cut his face, and Light tries to process the blood on his hands. Right then, his expression morphs into horror when he realizes they all want him dead. He immediately starts running for his life in panic. But Guru laughs at him and asks him to keep running, because he's just going to end up as mincemeat for some monster in the abyss. Sasha clarifies that's only going to happen if he manages to escape, but that's very unlikely in this case. Before he can get away, she uses her bow and shoots an arrow right through his leg, making him fall immediately. Light screams in pain, and Guru relishes on that sound, saying that's what he loves most about hunting humans. The others agree with him, so Guru launches at him to attack him again and make him cry even harder. He kicks Light several times, but Drago stops him and tells him that's enough. Of course, Guru isn't happy about this, but Sasha reminds him that they already agreed the cover story is supposed to be that he died in a surprise monster attack, so he should quit giving him injuries to contradict it. Having no other choice, Guru decides to give him a quick death. But Light keeps fighting for his life, desperately trying to escape. He cries and tells them he doesn't want to die. As he crawls away with no strength left, Light exclaims that he wants to live. And as he places his hand on the ground, a magic circle suddenly appears. Drago assumes it's a teleportation trap, so he asks Garu not to let him escape. Garu jumps to finish him off with his claws, but Light completely disappears before he can touch him. Now, in the depths of the abyss, Light is relieved to be alive, realizing that he triggered a teleportation trap that sent him somewhere else in the dungeon. It's not like that changes anything, because he's still dead the second that he runs into one of the crazy monsters down there. He can only think about how much he misses his family, wondering why this is happening to him. The Concord of Tribes treated him so well, and they showed him such kindness. So, he appreciated them, respected them, and believed in them. He was so happy. And yet, that was all just a lie, because they fooled him into joining an expedition to the dungeon, and then tried to kill him. They treated him like garbage, with sneers on their faces, and he still doesn't even understand what they meant by the maestro. Despite that, Light decides that he doesn't care about any of it, because he's going to kill them, without a doubt. That's why he can't die in the dungeon, until he makes them pay and suffer. Just as he's saying that, a giant monster of level 1000 looms in the dark behind him. Light doesn't know how that's even possible, because this is the kind of monster people only hear of in folktales. With that, he realizes that he was teleported to the deepest part of the abyss. The huge monster approaches him slowly, and Light can do nothing but to stare at it in panic. But he knows he can't die yet. Still, he has no way to fight it, and all he has is his gift, the unlimited gacha. Wanting to see his family again, he tries over and over again to pull something he can use to survive. Suddenly, his desire to live acts up, making several magic circles appear around the crystals of his gift. The monster immediately launches at him, but the voice of a woman is heard in the place, and she says that she has no mercy for any who threaten her master. With her sole appearance, the monster is torn into pieces, crumbling immediately. At her feet, Light observes in shock as she clears the place with one movement of her hand and gracefully approaches him to kneel before him. The woman doesn't hesitate to heal his wounds and apologizes for her actions, saying that she could not bear seeing his handsome face and beautiful pearly skin scarred by such horrible wounds. Light realizes that the wound on his leg also disappeared, and all the pain is gone. The woman refers to him as master, and asks him if he would grant her the honor of hearing him speak his name in that lovely voice. Light nervously introduces himself, so the woman repeats his name several times, clearly loving the sound of it. She mentions that per the maid's code of honor, she is duty-bound to her master and she'll live in service to them, committed to the point of death. Taking that into account, the woman tells him that she hereby pledges absolute loyalty to him. Light doesn't know what to say to that, but he decides to ask her who she is first. Just then, the woman tells him that her level is 9999, and she is known as May, the ever-seeking maid. She is a super ultra-rare card that came from his unlimited gacha. Light tries to process that information, but May decides to make an oath right there, saying that she will remain bound to him, even beyond the grave. He tries telling her that's impossible, since his unlimited gacha is basically worthless. So there's no way someone as incredible as her came out of it. May simply ignores that, and asks him to refer to her by her name, instead of Miss Light, reluctantly agrees, which makes her clearly happy, and she asks him to grant another of her humble requests. May tells him that she wants his permission to use her appraisal ability to check the finer details of his unlimited gacha. Light asks her if appraisal is really her gift, but May clarifies that it's just one of her innate skills, to be exact. She tells him that it's inconceivable for his gift to be worthless, so she wants to assess it herself. Light decides to accept, so May uses appraisal to see the details of his gift, and is left completely speechless. In just a few seconds, she tells him that his abilities are hidden under a heavy layer of conceal. So, it's impossible for anyone who is not at her level to even see the details. Knowing this, May clarifies that his unlimited gacha is far from worthless. His gift, the unlimited gacha, can be rolled an infinite number of times, and the odds and rarities of the cards that it produces vary based on surrounding monodensity. The rarities, starting from the top, are extra, super ultra rare, SS rare, rare, normal, and error. Light is having a hard time understanding all of this, so May explains that mana is something that flows everywhere throughout the world. However, its density is lowest up on the surface, meaning that a super ultra rare card like her appearing is close to zero, but mana is abundant down here in the depths of the dungeon, meaning that he has much better odds of rolling a rare card. May tells him that his bravery is admirable for traveling all the way to the bottom of the dungeon by himself, just to tap into the full potential of his unlimited gacha, and then pulling her card on top of it. That being said, encountering any monsters could prove fatal given his current stats. Still, May assures him that he doesn't have to fear, because she will be with him at all times from here on out. Light suddenly interrupts her to tell her that it wasn't like that because he could never brave the abyss on his own. He explains that he was with a party, but they ended up betraying him. He got slashed and shot with arrows and was on the verge of being killed by his own friends. Light breaks down as he speaks, saying that they said his gift was trash and called him a pathetic human. All he wanted was to provide for his family. So, he doesn't know how they can treat him like that just because he's human. The pain was unbearable, and it hurt so bad. So much for all that talk about putting an end to discrimination and creating a fair world. Light falls to his knees while crying out of frustration, saying that he won't rest until they pay for what they did. May suddenly hugs him, wrapping her arms around him in a comforting embrace. Light immediately calms down, and she tells him that a maid such as her could never understand the depth of the suffering he's been through. Still, he must rest assured with her power at his disposal. Bringing divine retribution upon his foes is a simple matter, so he just has to issue the order. Upon her maid honor, she hunt down these deceitful heathens with utmost haste and bring their heads on pikes before him. Seeing her dark and threatening expression, Light pulls back and tells her that she can't do that. After all, he put his faith in them and got duped, then almost died after being beaten to a pulp and sent to this hellhole. That only happened because he was weak, so he needs to toughen up. It might be impossible for a human like him, but he wants to get revenge with his own hands, and he wants to make them suffer. May simply kneels before him, telling him that his wish is hers. So she will help him get his revenge, because she believes in his potential more than anything. Light thanks her for her loyalty, and with that, he once again rolls his unlimited gotcha within the abyss to establish a kingdom that can pave his path to revenge. Just like that, the pitch-black depths were bathed in a bright light and became the first page in his grand tale of vengeance.